Valentine's Day should not be the only day where you prioritize love. I think that every day should be a day that you prioritize love. And the love that I'm speaking on is self love. Because if you're anything like me, today is Valentine's Day and you do not have a Valentine's. You are single on Valentine's Day yet again. And I think for most people who are single on Valentine's Day, they look at the day as a sad day or a day where it is a reminder that you are not loved or you don't have somebody that, let's say you just don't have a significant other that some people may have on Valentine's Day. So you feel kind of bummed out about it. But I'm here to tell you that there's nothing to be bummed out about because, one, you don't know the intricacies of most people's relationship. A lot of people have shitty relationships and they just put on a good face for the photo op for Instagram or social media where they paint this elaborate picture of the perfect Valentine's when in all actuality their relationship sucks. Now, it's not to say that there's not happy and healthy and loving relationships out there who are celebrating their love on Valentine's Day. But I'm here to say that you should not base whether or not Valentine's Day should be happy or sad on whether or not you are single or in a relationship. I think that you should take this day as a reminder that you should be prioritizing love, self-love on a daily basis. And something that I've come to understand when it comes to loving yourself, a lot of it has to do with the promises that you keep to yourself, the things that you're doing on a daily basis that fill your cup, that anchor you into stability and authority. I think that it's important that you prioritize those things because I think the more that you prioritize the things that you need to do on a daily basis, the easier it is to love yourself. Because I think when we think about self-love, a lot of people like to externalize the things that you need to do in order to love yourself. When people say, oh, I want to have a self-love or a self-care day, people equate that to self-love. So we're going to go with that. And they'll do all of these things where they'll go to a spa or they'll take themselves out to a nice date or they'll buy themselves something nice. And it's not to say that these things don't help. I feel like it's important that you do things for yourself on at least a weekly or monthly basis. I'm all for self-care Sundays and doing things that lift your spirits and stuff like that. But I think that it's almost like trying to put a Band-Aid over a much deeper wound. Because I think when people say that they're lacking self-love and they do these things in hopes of remedying a deeper issue, they almost feel like, well, man, people say that I should be doing this in order to love myself better, and I did it, but I don't feel any better. And I think the reason is because we have shifted the focus on what it means to truly love yourself. When I think of loving myself, the thing that always plays in the back of my head is, what am I doing to make myself feel important on a day-to-day basis? Am I going to the gym? Am I eating healthy? Am I keeping my space clean? Am I making sure that I am doing everything that I need to do in order to relax and be calm 90% of the day? That's what I think about when I think of self-love. And it sounds boring. It sounds as if, man, this guy's a prude. He's not really living on the edge. But I'm here to tell you that, bro, those are the things that's actually going to make you feel loved. Because let's face it, if you're not doing those things, chances are your life is chaotic. Chances are you're waking up and all you can think about is the next time that you go back into bed. But life doesn't have to be that way. It could be very exciting and very loving. And a lot of the love starts with the things that you do for yourself on a consistent basis. Because for a lot of people, they aren't doing things that feed their soul. They're not doing things that lift their spirits, that gives them that inner stability, so that they feel as though that, man, I do love myself. Because I don't think that we should wait on Valentine's Day to ask that question, especially if we're single. And for those of you that are in relationships, I think that it's even more so important to prioritize the things that you do on a daily basis in order to love yourself. Because I think that if you aren't, you trying to love on somebody else when you are not prioritizing the things that you need to do in order to love yourself, the love that you are giving that person is not coming from a real place. It's coming from an imaginary place, a place that truthfully is unsustainable. And it almost turns that love into a transaction rather than an expression. And I think that it's important to always express the love that you have from a place of fullness rather than a place of lack. So this message is not only for people who are single. It just so happens that I'm single, so I can only speak from a lived experience. But for those of you that are in relationships, this message is as equally as important for them as it is to you. Because I truly believe that we can only love people to the extent in which we love ourselves. And if we are not doing the things that we need to do on a daily basis in order to love ourselves, then it doesn't matter whether we are single or in a relationship on Valentine's Day. When the day ends, we go back to a reality where love is not being prioritized, where we are not prioritizing the things that we need to do in order to express that love to ourselves and to our partners. So instead of you abandoning yourself, why don't you start today by prioritizing the things that you need to do on a daily basis, so that when this day comes next year, even if you aren't in a relationship, you still have a smile on your face. You still hold your head high because you know that it's going to be a great day. I had a great Valentine's. I didn't do anything to celebrate the day, but I did everything that I needed to do for myself. The most loving things that I could do for myself. I went to the gym. I played basketball. I ate 3 healthy meals today, and I was in a caloric deficit. I made some money driving Uber. And now I'm working on my business, creating content, expressing myself, and giving my knowledge to the world. I made my bed. I cleaned my kitchen. These are all things that, in the grand scheme of things, feel like, well, you did that the day before. But that's the bar and the baseline that I set for myself in order to love myself. So that way, it doesn't matter if it's Valentine's Day. It doesn't matter if it's Christmas. It doesn't matter if it's Hanukkah. It doesn't matter if it's Halloween. I'm still loving myself fully every single day. Because there's not a day that goes by where I am finishing my day and I feel as though that I let Trent Bishop down. You should never end the day feeling like you let yourself down. And if you are, then you need to run inventory on the things that you're doing on a daily basis. Because if you are letting yourself down on a daily basis, then you already know where you're starting. And I think that it's good to be aware of that, not to beat yourself up, but to understand where you need to make improvements. Because a lot of us, let's face it, we let ourselves down on a daily basis. And then we're confused as to why we feel low, why we feel sad, why we feel as though that we're not living up to our fullest potential. It's because we're not keeping the promises that we make to ourselves. So, why don't we change that? Why don't we actually take steps toward a better life, a more loving, a more fulfilled life, by putting things in place that we have been putting off for who knows how long, so that every day feels like a Valentine's Day. Not just February 14th, not if I'm in a relationship. It should just be, this is the baseline. This is the bar, the standard that I have set for myself. So it is only natural that the things that I do, how I express my love, is a reflection of what it is that I feel and how I show up for myself on a daily basis. So as this video comes to a close, I want you to take this away. Self-love is the highest form of love. And I think a good start to going down the rabbit hole of self-love is you keeping the promises that you made to yourself, being disciplined on the things that you set, the goals, the daily tasks that you set for yourself, so that each day, when you wake up to when you go to bed, you know that if it all ended today, you did all that you could. And I do not have to stress or worry about the day before or the day tomorrow, because I know that I have the correct systems in place so that I never have to stress or worry about what it is or who it is I need to be. I just have to continue to persist and show that I value the things that I do and who I'm being. And anybody who is lucky to be a part of my life, they would see that and they would not try to diminish anything that I'm doing, but they can only add value to it. Yeah. If you made it this far in the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. My name is Trent Bishop. If I didn't tell you already, happy Valentine's Day. Even though you may not be seeing this on Valentine's Day because it's late. I'm on West Coast time, wherever you're seeing this. Chances are it's probably not Valentine's Day, but whenever you see this, I hope you had a good Valentine's Day. Signing out. Peace.